Welcome back, our Grin intellectuals, to our weekly Grin roundup.
Yep.
So what happened this week, Matt?
So this week we've got 3 pieces of news for y'all. The first one is a user suggestion by someone named Tromp, not Trump, Tromp, T-R-O-M-P, suggested something about coin swaps on Grin. I'm not technical enough to know what he's talking about, or this person is talking about rather, but if you are and you would like to go nerd out on it and read all of the formulas and the idea behind it, we've got the link in the description down below. Go check it out. Yeah, that's kind of as far as I can, as much as I can give you on it. Yep, that's number 1.
It has a lot of math. So if you are a green patriot, anyone who believes in a cryptocurrency project should, in my opinion, run a node to keep the network secure. So currently Grin has about 50 nodes, and someone proposed, and I'm just going to read this. Someone proposed a very interesting challenge. Hello community, based on the greennodes.org, we have around 50 nodes running. I was thinking about a PR action. Let's reach 1,000 nodes running on by a specific date. Monero has about 1,500, which represents 15 to 20% of Bitcoin nodes. What if by running Grin++ on mobile and desktop we could reach another level? Let's reach out to our lovely community on Telegram, Reddit, and the forum to make this a reality. I agree. So thanks to D. Tavares and D. Burkett, having a mobile node is a blessing. So let's take advantage of what we have, right? So if we succeed, we need to make our voice be heard and let people know about ASIC miner G1 Mini for the winner.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
I think if you don't know how to set it up, like I said, at the end of this video, Matt will teach you.
I will.
Step by step.
Yeah, definitely make sure you check out the video. Happy to support what Mr. Trump is doing there, and the video, it's gonna be huge.
I'm sure it will be.
But yeah, run a Grin node, it's good stuff. And then thirdly, in our news, I think thirdly is a word, right?
I think so, we just made it up.
It's thirdly. There was an update on the shipment of the iPollo G1 Mini ASIC miners. That I think the shipment people were able to pre-purchase them, but they haven't been charged for the shipping yet, and they haven't been contacted by the company. Recently, about 4 days ago, a salesperson or representative from iPollo said that the shipments have been delayed just due to sterilization and stuff related to COVID-19. Some users on the forum were saying, okay, is this an exit scam? Which
just spraying Lysol over the ASICs. Watch out for that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we don't know. And in the game of ASICs, it's definitely a good idea to be suspicious, because scams and exit scams and all kinds of crazy stuff does happen and will probably continue to happen. But the general consensus seemed to be kind of just like wait and see. Just the order they did the pre-sale in, they wouldn't let people buy over a certain amount of them. They've been fairly transparent so far, so it's kind of a wait and see scenario. Hopefully it's not an exit scam, but right now it's kind of up in the air. But yeah, if we could get a timeline for when the delays will be done with from iPollo, that would be huge, I think.
Yeah, so if you know something, just comment down below and
let us
inform the community.
Yeah, let us know. But yeah, so that's the 3 pieces of Grin news for this week. And
Now is the big momentum for Matt to show you guys how to set up a node, and just do it.
Check it out, and we'll see y'all next week.
What's up, everybody? Matt from the Open Economy Initiative here, or the OpEI for short, coming to you guys with a new video on how to set up a Grin node and a Grin wallet to send your grins around the internet and to whoever you'd like without censorship resistance and without using public addresses, which is kind of an interesting design feature that's exclusive to Mimblewimble at this point. But yeah, Grin's a really cool cryptocurrency. Both myself and Chill Brimer, my other co-founder at the OpEI, we're big privacy advocates, and we feel that Grin does a great job of protecting the privacy of its users. And so because of that, we wanted to show you all how to quickly set up a Grin node and a Grin wallet for Windows and without a graphical user interface. So yeah, let's just get right into it. The first thing we're going to do is open up a web browser, and we're going to go straight to grin.mw. So that's grin.mw, grin.mimblewimble is why they're using that. So make sure you go to that website. Don't go anywhere else. You might end up on a scammy who knows? It could be bad. Just go to grin.mw. Once you're there, we can come over here to the docs and get ourselves a little bit of help for how to do this. And on the left here, we got getting started. Click on quick start, and then we'll come down here to install. And we see we get a nice little link if you want to use a graphical wallet where you can see it. See what you're doing and click on buttons. You can go there. There's a few different options for you. But for this guide, we're just going to be doing the basic instructions for Windows down here. And yep, so the very first thing that we're going to want to do is go to grin.mw/download and download the zip files for the Grin wallet and the Grin node. So we'll do that. And I'm actually going to keep that tab open up top here. But see, we're now on the download page. We can see we've got Windows, Mac, Linux. We're on Windows today, so I'll be clicking on that. And then we see right here, here's the wallet. So click on that. Start downloading it. We'll just download it to our desktop there. I'm sorry, desktop Grin downloads. And you want to make sure the place that you're downloading to, you know where it's at, because we're going to have to go back and find it in command prompt in a little bit. So desktop Grin downloads folder, I will save that there. And then I'm going to come do the same thing for the node. Desktop Grin downloads looks good. I will save it there. All right. Okay, so I've downloaded it, and then I can see here I've got a hash of this file that I just downloaded, and I've got a hash of this file that I just downloaded. So the next thing that I want to do is make sure that this hash matches the hash of the file I just downloaded. To do that, I'm going to need to open up command prompt for Windows. So come down here to the Windows search bar. I'm just going to type in cmd. Here's the command prompt apt. I will run it as administrator. And here we go. My little window pops up. So first thing, I want to get out of System32 in Windows. So I'm just going to hit CD and then two little dots. That again. And now I want to go into the directory where I've saved the two folders. So I saved it to my desktop and then in a folder called Grin downloads there. So now that I'm kind of at the base directory here, the C drive, I'm going to CD into users. So we'll CD into users. And then now this is gonna be a unique folder that's different for everybody's computer. It's gonna be your username, or the first four, I think, first 5 letters of your username. So for me, that is MOPHE. So I'll CD into that. And then once I'm inside there, now I can go to my desktop, downloads, documents folder, wherever I want. So I believe I had saved this to desktop. And so now I'm on the desktop. If I type in dir directory command, that will list everything that's on my desktop. So you can see here I've got, okay, there's Grin downloads right there. So I want to CD into that. Grin downloads. And now I'm going to type in directory again. And let's see here. Yep, there's my Grin v5 node, and there's Grin wallet v5. Looks good. They were just downloaded a few seconds ago. Cool. All right, I'm where I need to be. The next thing I want to do is I want to get the hash of both of these files, these zip files that I've downloaded. So to do that, we're going to use a command called cert-util. There's cert-util, and we're going to give it a little extra command here. We're going to say hash this file, and then it says, okay, what file do you want to hash? Well, I'd like to hash this one right here. So I will highlight that, Control C to copy it, and then just come down here and right click. See there's the file number, and then it's gonna. Then I need to put in the type of hash that I want to do. I'm gonna do SHA-256. Okay, so that looks good there. So I've got cert-util. Whoop. Cert-util hash file, name of the file, and then the type of hashing I want to perform. Okay, looks good to me. Let's hit enter, and boom. Okay, so here's my hash. First 5, 5A, 6E8. Last 5, 5DB, 3D. Okay, so let's come back here, take a look. 5A6, E8. Yep, that looks good. 5DB, 3D. That also looks good. So the hash of this Grin node file is matching exactly what I've got on here. Obviously, you may have noticed that this is not capitalized. This is all capitalized. That actually doesn't matter. It's just the numbers and the letters. So yep. So that was the first one. So we're going to repeat this command again. And we can hit the up arrow on our keyboard, and that'll automatically put in the last command that we ran. So we're just going to delete the name of the file here, and now we're going to copy grinwallet.zip, Control C to copy it, come down here. Whoops, looks like that didn't work. Copy that, right click down here. So we got cert-util hash file. Now we're doing the wallet file, and we'll hit enter. It looks like we got 97 CF8, 510 A50. Okay, 97 CF8, 510 A50. Rest of that looks the same as well. So it looks like that the two files we just downloaded from the Grin website are actually the files that we intended to get, and we can feel reasonably more secure now that these files we downloaded don't contain any malicious type of code that's going to steal our keys. So okay, so we've done the checksum. Next thing we want to do is we actually want to extract these files, because they're zipped up right now. They're not in a format we can use, so we're going to unzip them, extract them into this same directory, and then we're going to move them over to the recommended directory that the Grin guide gives us, which is over in users, app data, and local. So let's do that right now. Okay, so we'll open our command prompt window back up, and the first thing we want to do is extract these zipped up files. So to do that, we're going to use the tar command, T-A-R, and then we'll do a little dash here, and we'll give it the X and the F flags to make sure that it properly unpacks and extracts these zip files. And then all you've got to do is put the name of the file in. Oops. There we go, and we'll hit enter. And then we will do the same thing for the other file, tar -xf. Copy that. Oop, forgot my space. Okay. Alright, and now if we hit dir, type in dir, we can see we've got Grin, and then we've got the zip file, and then we've got the Grin wallet, and then we've got the zip file for that Grin wallet. So these have been successfully unpacked at this point, and now we can move them over to the directory that's recommended by the Grin install documentation. Alright, the first thing we want to do is make a directory at this location here. So to do that, we'll come back to our command prompt, and we're going to type in the command mkdir, make directory is what that's used for, and we're going to just copy the language given to us from the documentation provided by the Grin, the awesome folks over there at Grin. So we got users, then my 5-letter unique identifier, app data, local, and then we will call it Grin. Yep, that looks good. Let's hit enter. And we should now have a directory that's created there. If you want, you can open up your file explorer and go take a look, make sure that it actually created it there. You just follow that file path pretty easy. Go to your C drive or your main drive users, and just keep clicking on the folders until you get to where Grin is at. But yeah, so now that we've done that, we can move the 2 files that we've just extracted. So actually, we can see here I've got the Grin folder. I want to go inside that and get the file out of it. So I'm actually going to cd into Grin, and then if I hit type in directory, I can see what's in there. Looks like there's only a single file. It's called grin.exe. Alright, I'm going to move that over to the folder that I just created at appdata local Grin. So let's move that. It's pretty easy, just use the move command, and we're already in the directory where this file lives that we're moving, so we can just type in grin.exe. That's the file that we want to move, and then we can type in the location of where we want to move that file. Suppose I could just copy from up above here instead of typing everything all out again, but I'm not that smart. So okay, all that looks good. Let's hit enter. Okay, 1 file was moved, and again, if you want to double check that that was done correctly, you can open up your file explorer and then just follow this path that we've moved it to, and you should see a little grin.exe inside this Grin folder at this location. So okay, so we need to get out of this directory, and now we need to go into the Grin wallet. So we'll cd into Grin dash. Where's my dash? There it is. Grin wallet. Okay, type in directory. Yep, okay, there's a file that's called grin-wallet.exe. So we're going to move that over to that same directory that we just moved our previous file to. And okay, that looks all good. Boom, it's there. Okay, so let's go over to that folder that we just moved everything into. So we can just literally hit cd and then just paste that same path that we just used. So the C drive users, your 5-digit user identifier, app data, local Grin. Alright, we're there. Let's type in dir. What do we have inside this folder? And we see we've got the Grin wallet, and we've got Grin. Awesome. That's what we need. Okay, now that I've got everything in here in the file that I need it, we need to come back here and add them to our path by typing in the terminal the following command, and remember to replace that user variable with your actual variable from your local machine. Okay, so I've copied that there, and now we'll come back here and we will just right click to pop it in there, and then come back here, delete that, and then put in that 5-digit identifier. And so yeah, we're going to set the path variable to include this directory where we have placed our Grin. So let's hit enter, and I'm going to assume that worked there. I'm sure there's a way to check it, but for now we'll just assume that it's good. And that'll be it for this page on the documentation. We can now go to the next step, initialize. And this is pretty common for Linux, Mac, and Windows. Running a Grin node is as simple as typing the command Grin. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, so we are in the folder that contains grin.exe and grinwallet.exe. So I'm just going to type in Grin. Let's see what happens. So unfortunately it popped this little window up outside of my screen recording. However, this little window was started when I did execute that command. So what you'll see in here is the basic status of your Grin node. I had already set this up before doing this video just to make sure everything worked correctly. So my status is basically synced, or at least the headers are pretty close to being synced at this point. When you start it for the first time, however, you'll start at 0%, and depending on your internet speed and the processing power of your computer, 30 minutes to an hour maybe to fully sync and get up to 100%. That's what it's saying. But yeah, this is the node, and you can take a look, see how many peers you're connected to. Right now I'm connected to about 7. I'm not mining, but if I wanted to mine, I'd have a little bit of information there. And then we've just got the logs showing us the IP addresses for different node APIs, and then the version that we're running is hopefully the latest version, but you can check that right here. And then there's a few other commands to come in and out of it. But yeah, that Grin node is now working and starting to sync itself, and you've just got to leave that thing on and running, and you're good to go. You are running a Grin node and supporting the network. Great job. Now that your node is up and syncing, the one final thing that I definitely want to mention here is back on the documentation page. If you scroll down a little bit, it says, congratulations, you're now running a Grin full node. Initial sync might take 30 minutes to a couple hours. But this bit right here, if you have a good internet connection, help strengthen the network by keeping your PC running with the Grin node on and port 3413 open. I'm doing this right now so that I can help support the network. This allows, this just makes more options for other nodes to sync to and get data from. And so by default, your node is not open on port 3414. You have to manually open that to start pushing data out to everybody. So to do that, I'm not going to show you how to do it in this video just because every router is different, but you're going to need to probably log into your router and forward that port so that it's open and you can help fully support the network. There's a guide. If you click on this link here, you go to this website and then click on this link, it'll walk you through it. But yeah, unfortunately every router is different, and so I'm not going to get into that right this second in this guide. Okay, so make sure that your node is running and that you've entered in that Grin command after you had navigated to the correct folder. So we've got it in app data local and the Grin folder, and then inside there is the grin.exe. So once I'm inside that folder, I can run this command Grin, hit enter, and the node will pop up here and start syncing itself and doing all that good stuff and getting itself up to speed. So while that is syncing, we can minimize that, come back to the same folder, and actually start the wallet. So on the documentation page here, we've got the initial command to get the wallet started, grin-wallet init, initialize is what that's asking you to do there. So we'll come here, we'll type in grin-wallet initialize and hit enter. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to ask for a password for this new wallet. You definitely want to write this password down, make it something new and unique that you haven't used before anywhere else, and don't record it in a digital format if you can help it, especially if you're going to be keeping a lot of Grin inside this wallet or using this wallet to transact with a lot of Grin. Okay. Here's my password. Ask me to confirm it. And okay, so at this point it's generated a wallet seed file. This is the location that that seed file is going to live at. And then here are my 24 super secret words. Obviously, I'm not going to use these 24 words for my own wallet. I have a different wallet. So you know, you can plug these in as much as you'd like and try and make them work. There's not going to be any Grin there. But I'm going to copy these and write them down in a notebook. You could put them on a seed plate, you know, whatever you want to do, however you want to secure it. But make sure that you record them, and preferably record them with a backup copy, and keep those copies in 2 separate physical locations. But okay, so I'm going to write this down real quick, and once I've done that, we can come down here. It says it's shown us the recovery phrase, store it safely, preferably in a non-digital format. And that is it, y'all. You've now set up a Grin node, initialized your Grin wallet, and for commands and how to actually use the wallet, on that same documentation page, we get the next step gives us how to get our address with this command, and then how to copy that, give it to the sender, how to use Tor, and it's got a bunch of different commands and a bunch of great information on how to use that command line wallet and node that we've set up. So yeah, hopefully this was useful to everybody. Hopefully you're out there running a node and that you've opened up the port to really support the network. And if you have any questions or comments, let us know down below. And yeah, hope you all liked it. Thanks.